the room is so different from here. So thank you very much, Daniel, for the nice introduction. Thank you, Pragma, for having me here. I couldn't believe, guys, how close was the something John talked about and to something I'm going to tell you today. So I had a journey, right? The journey I had within my company was to automate things. But first, let me just introduce myself a little bit more. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm Dario, and I'm an enthusiast iOS developer and mobile lead at TikTok. That's a picture of me at work, always on time, wearing shirt, mug, and with my lovely Mac. So what TikTok does? A few things about my company. TikTok is an engagement platform. So as a company who wants to improve people's health through their data, we serve our app to 6 partners. It's a white label app. We serve that to 6 partners. Those partners are insurance companies who distribute that to 1,000 of organizations. What is an organization? What an organization stands for is basically, it can be anything. It can be the biggest enterprise or a tiny startup. That's an organization that subscribes to the insurance company and gets our app, our platform, as part of the services provided. Out of that 1,000 of organization, we have 5.7 million eligible users. So imagine, we deal with people data, people-sensitive data. We talk about, with TikTok, you can track your run, you can track your swim, your yoga session. We get those data, and we give back at you healthy advices. There was one big problem in TikTok that I experienced quite a while ago, like almost a year ago, 2 years ago, more or less. There was no automation, right? Nothing. Imagine we white label this app to our 6 partners, and we have to make roughly 6 apps whenever it comes to a release cut, or whenever it comes to testing feature or bug for and provide the app to our QA. We couldn't go with a classic automation, which means, I don't know, catch release, get a branch, the automation do the job, and then, I don't know, in a couple of hours, you will get all these builds. We don't need it. We don't need all these builds to get, I don't know, one feature test in isolation, or where maybe when it comes to the release day, yeah, true. We also had to deal with another big problem that affects iOS developers who serves their app, which is code signing. We had an issue with one, not only one, because with these partners behind that, imagine they are a big organization, they have as well bureaucracy, right? Lots of bureaucracy behind that. We have to ask for anything, and I don't know, maybe we will get back in a week because they have to go for it. That manager, etc., to get, for example, one certificate on one mobile provisioning profile. I'm happy that I'm speaking tech, so everyone understands that. It wasn't as easy to deal when I have to ask for the product to improve the automation flow there. Waste of time. The result was waste of time, content switching, because we had to build this stuff manually, which means you're working on your nice feature or maybe bug fixing, so you're quite under pressure, and you have to throw everything, put everything aside, wear the release engineer hat on, and then start like a machine, release things. Waste of time. It took us more or less half a day to do all the release for clients, and not necessarily everything could go well. In one word, I can summarize everything with complexity. how complex is this, right? Distributing, fear of context switching, maybe release the wrong thing. When it happens internally, right, it's quite easy, right? You're going to be blamed by the QA engineer or another engineer. Oh, you gave me the wrong app pointing to the wrong environment. Fair enough, I will give you another one. Let's wait for other 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Let me just switch branch and do the stuff for you. But when it comes to partner-facing builds, it's quite different. I can tell you guys. So how did we overcome that? How we change this complexity to, we're always aiming for something way simpler, which is quite ambitious because, all these complexities could be solved with some automation, started automation, as I was speaking before. But then we want something more. We want something that would, imagine, in an ideal world, involve everyone. Everyone should be capable of getting to build. So what did we do? We've linked about to this one services that we use pretty much every day, which is Slack. We call it Bugs Bunny. Funny story about that. When it comes to decide variable names or class name or I don't know, like bot name in this case. It was evening. I was sitting on my couch and I came up with this idea. But then first thing that I came up with, first name I came up with was Jarvis. Quite ambitious. And then at the same time, I was watching Space Jam, which is also the way I approach to basketball. Lasted for 2 years though. And then I came up with Bugs Bunny. Simple, funny, everyone can use it, cool. Right, that's Bugs Bunny. Let me give you a quick demo of how it works. So, yeah, that's right. That's my Slack work, my work Slack, and I will bother someone directly today. Bugs Bunny is online, fine. It's roughly 9:10 in the office. I guess everyone is having a coffee. No one would mind if I launch a build today, for example. Let's say our app that we use to demo with clients whenever we want to get new partners. So I just have to type, following a super simple template, saying Bugs Bunny deploy tick truck in staging environment, for example. Staging from, let's choose a branch, develop, with changelog high pragma. There we go. It's launched. Now it's understanding what things I have to, it has to bring with. And as you can see in here, now the connection is not helping me. That's the one I've launched yesterday to create a GIF out of the GIF I showed you before. And Bugs Bunny says, oh, there we go. Oh, sorry, I mistyped maybe. So if I don't remember the template in this case, I do Bugs Bunny help. It gives me back all the actions I made out of a template whenever I want to launch some services, right? So let's say I mistyped that one, but I really want to launch out of a develop branch following a changelog, so to a certain environment. So I can copy this one and put in here. Client will be, you can help me out with that, tick truck. In staging from develop Sorry? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm quite nervous. Staging with changelog, symbol hi. Let's say pragma. There we go, launched. So as a response, I get the template name, which I've just put here before, and it gives me back all the information I need alongside with a direct link of the job I'm running. So in this case, my changelog will be iPragma. I will tell you a bit more about the services it's going to provide the bill for, etc. Branch name develop, client or partner tick track, our internal app, environment staging. Cool. Let's get back to demo. In roughly 10 minutes, I will get a build distributed to Fabric in this case. Let's get back to the demo. There we go. So hope you enjoyed that. That's the funny thing of on doing that live. Mistyping, doing typos, etc. So what we achieved with that, from taking half day to do something to, I don't know, 30 seconds, typos apart. 30 seconds, like I message my girlfriend, I'm texting my mom at home, same time. Again, from half day, 30 seconds, everyone can launch these builds. So I would say from complexity to simplicity, we've made another huge step, which is eliminate completely the engineering dependency of making builds. We don't need an engineer to do so. Maybe some maintenance from time to time, but there is no need at all. Let's get back to theory. So what we've achieved with this service, we've first of all reduced human mistakes. That's another funny story behind that. That's why I chose that. Some random guy testifying something he did wrong. Quite recently, we had this automation broken because Apple kindly made the two-factor authentication for your main account mandatory, and we used this email with partners. We shared this email with partners. That's the email we use to get signed on their, to get added to their developer portal, on their App Store Connect portal. And oh my God, okay, two-factor authentication. But it's release day, so we have to release today. Okay, we did another big mistake. Instead of pausing, calm down, and tell partners that we will release, I don't know, in 3 days, 4 days, what we did, put everything aside and do the manual job. Guess what? We've deployed something I did straight to production, pointing to a test environment, which means that their partners, I mean, this partner, particularly one of the most important one, that is also investing in TikTok, got this lovely test environment, this staging environment in particular, deployed straight to clients. Huge problem came up. Now we have to fix it. We must fix it. And we did overcome that problem, storing the session token out of this email provided. Anyway, I will tell you a bit more technically later. We made the code signing great again. What does it mean? Partners, huge bureaucracy, huge deal. We can access to their developer portal. We can make provisioning profile ourselves. We can make new certificates unless they provide that to us. Easy things, right? We had to deal with one partner does that, another one doesn't. So we have 6 of them. Most of them have different way of dealing with these things and with these certificates. didn't make our time quite nice. So what we did, we made the code signing great again. And I knew that by saying great again, there is one person that came up to your mind, but I wanted to take this talk as much politically correct as possible. However, I couldn't resist the temptation when I was typing to Giphy, and I typed great again. I found this nice picture of Donald Trump, and I would want to share it with you. Anyway, thank Donald. Next thing would be my idea of content switching. That's the content switching. That's how the content switching should be. It should be relaxing. It should be chatting with your friends. Yeah, there is someone else who's delegating or who's taking care of stuff for you, which in our case is Bugs Bunny. But let's be quite techy, right? Funny emoji, funny things, presentation, type it wrongly, and first instance, fine, that's the beauty of demo. What's behind the scene? So how we made these services working together. We have main actors, which in this case is Bugs Bunny itself, that's the bot, that communicates through Slack, services we use every day, always online, everyone can get a build out of a command. A bit deeper technically, we use Jenkins. Why Jenkins? When I was working on that, that was the first services I was most familiar with, and and then we saw other things like Circle CI, etc. At the time I was using Jenkins, I was quite familiar with. That made myself quite confident with the whole structure. That's why I implemented Jenkins. And a bit deeper, that's the core of everything. That's the tool, that services that gets everything done in a serious way, and that's Fastlane. Fastlane helps us to deal with mobile provisioning, and then ends the code signing, as well as providing the builds, adding new devices to the developer portal when we speak about the internal one. And in general, it takes care of pretty much everything. So we have, just to summarize, we have Bugs Bunny, we have Slack, Jenkins, which is just the driver, right? And then Fastlane, which is the core of everything. We have co-stars as well. We have Docker, where the bot sits into. We have ad hoc scripts that help us to install the provisioning profile whenever we get the file itself from the partner. And then we use .env convention as to facilitate the work we do depending on the environment. That's defined environment variable at job. Whenever job is launched, it loads the environment variables we need and launch and those are being read through Fastlane. What's next? This is something that is currently working. This is something that we are quite proud of. It's working. No more mistakes, no more angry clients, and we are quite happy about it. But at the same time, yes, we provide on-demand builds. Yes, we made things easier, but we want some. There's always room for improvement, right? So what we are actually working on is a efficient post caching. Now, at the moment, a build takes roughly 12 minutes, something like that, 11 minutes. But then, because we don't cache any pods. Why? Because we are recently working on a new UI refresh, and at the same time we are getting new pods. So for us was even let's say did even take more time to check the revision of these pods instead of just forget about caching for now. And the same was for the derived data. We are at the moment flashing all the derived data whenever we make a new build. Again, 12 minutes. It can be squeezed into 10, maybe 8 minutes if we do these things. Go open source. That's another thing we want to do, to release the current version open source. And again, store certificates elsewhere. Fastlane, one of the things that Fastlane says is to store certificates at least into another repository. Currently, those certificates sits in our project, so within the same repository. However, we are within the company. We use Bitwarden, and which is an open source basket to store files and credentials, and they provide an API. So we are analyzing at the moment if there is a chance to collaborate with Bitwarden's API in order to get those certificates. So we'll have a unique source of truth for those. And of course, evolve this process. Out of that, we are working on the substrate. So we want to think on another way of evolve this process itself. How do we do that? What we've been thinking. Just remember the first architecture, how it was. How it is now. That one it is actually working. We have Slack, we have Bugs Bunny, Jenkins, and Fastlane. I'm quite sure that at least a couple of us, we are, what, a few hundred? So I don't want to say, but maybe 50% of us, when I spoke about Jenkins, they were like, Jenkins is quite old, right? True things. So that's why we are now working on replacing Jenkins with CircleCI. CircleCI can trigger jobs. CircleCI, especially the second version, can trigger jobs through the API, reading environment variables, seamless as the way we are using now Jenkins. So why not move to CircleCI? And at the same time, we're working on improving the bot itself. I didn't mention before, the bot works and it's written in Golang. I wasn't that familiar with Golang, however, just didn't stop me like learning a bit about it. But then I thought that, okay, Golang is fine, but the bot does too much for us. And most of the thing it does, apart from running commands through templates, it has some services management, etc. We don't really need that. So that's why we are thinking and currently working on a full revision of the bot itself, written in Swift with the help of Vapor Framework. I approached Vapor Framework few months ago for a side project, and I found that quite easy to understand, and why not? It would also help us to give the bot not only the chance to work with, for release and all these things, it would also help us to create microservices and then expand the bot services, and maybe include also, as Fastlane handles the Android builds as well, quite recently, maybe handles and make on-demand builds for Android as well. I didn't mention before, I approached to Fastlane from the very first releases, and I've been honored to be one of the reviewer of one of the books that is out there at the moment, featured by Felix Cross, who is the creator of these lovely services and tools as Fastlane. What are the takeaways? Quite quickly, I'm going to go through what I've learned. What I've learned is that you have to think like you're composing a puzzle. I was really, really, really happy about making things working together. Even though I wasn't really knowledgeable about Golang or .env convention, etc., that didn't stop me learning. And as John said before, it's been a journey on that. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Link back to the Golang things. I was like, okay, I'm by myself. I really want to make these things work. So no matter what, read the documentation, copy code from somewhere, etc. I made it work, and then I was really happy. Make time for what drives your passion. Guys, we have to make time for something that stimulates and help us to build new things. Our job can be really, really frustrating, especially when we're always working on the same thing. So you have to make time to something that gets you back in the childhood's playground and playing, I don't know, playing basketball or playing with toys. I was fascinated about it, and I'm quite sure that if you really want to do something, you're gonna find time for that. Last but not least, celebrate on every single success. Before approaching to the lovely Fastlane saved you 17 minutes, you know, code signing and all the things. I had really hard time, especially when it came to code signing. Okay, I made it working, but then I broke 5 other code signing flows for the other partners. And it was really, really frustrating. But then when I gotten all the flows working for every single flow, every single bit, satisfying every single scenario, I was really, really, really happy about it. So puzzle, don't be afraid, make time and celebrate for every single success. Before finishing, I want to do something, and I would like to do that together. So when I spoke about going open source, and it's like an undergoing project, and I wasn't really honest. So what I would like to do with you today would be releasing, there you go. There is a full step-by-step guidelines to build what I did just by yourself. Have a demo. It explains everything. It also make you testing what you're done step by step, and hopefully it would help you as well. So let's make it public together. Please don't mind my username. I was 13 when I approached to GitHub, and literally I was hoping to act the word, and then I gave this lovely DRR one, blah 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 blah. Anyway, settings, yeah, hopefully. I really like when I have to press big red buttons. Make public. Place the type, the name of repository. Okay, I don't have time for that. So, awesome, pragma. There we go. Make public. Of course I'm typing. I don't want to make typo now. I understand, of course. Let's wait for it. Did you like it? Okay, cool, thank you. Nice. Let's say if, that's the name. Thanks, Apple, confirm, and now the password is wrong, imagine. Cool, it's public. And apart from that, one last bit, bam, 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 bam. Thank you and grazie.